Well, the weatherman tells us that there might be strong possibility of storms this morning here in Abuja. Well, storms or not, it's a beautiful morning here in the federal capital city. And here is your daily dose of sunshine, Sunrise Daily. Good morning and welcome to the program. I'm Maokbe Ogun-Yusuf.
Well, it's 32 degrees centigrade here in Lagos. Good morning and welcome. Today is May 12th, 2025. I'm Ayo Makinde.
It's so good to see you. I understand you're taking us somewhere in Lagos. We should remind us to plant trees, especially in your Lagos.
Well, yes. Well, my Lagos, but don't forget who is the Lagosian here. Anyway, here is Lekki Conservation Center for you. One of the very few areas in Lagos where you have wetlands that is deliberately kept. As you can see it, it's lined up. You can see that it's deliberately planned. So to encroach on it would be, unthinkable. And it's for the good of everyone. It's a good reason, of course, Markway, as you mentioned, for us not just to plant trees, but to have gardens around our homes. When we were growing up, some of us had this pleasure, this privilege, this distinct honor, so to speak, of having gardens all around the place. Even though the houses were fenced and all, there were still gardens, green patches in compounds, in communities, even in the states where there were, we had gardens, we had playgrounds and all those things in the city of Lagos. I don't know how many of those we have in built-up cities in Nigeria, like Lagos, like Abuja, like Port Harcourt. Well, there's still some in Ibadan and a number of other places like that. That's one thing that I don't think we should ever lose sight of, particularly, now that things seem to be quite hot, if we dare say. But this is a place you can go spend some time, just have some fun at the Lekki Conservation Center, one of the fewest of its kind in our part of the world. So yes, Markway, it's a good reminder for us all, not just to plant the trees, but to have plants all around. Because you know that thing that we say, they emit oxygen, we emit carbon dioxide, and then we're loving each other, so to speak. Go ahead, Markway.
Indeed, we enable each other to breathe, as the case might be. Ayo, one of the things when you're talking about privilege, I thought you were going to talk about the privilege to climb trees and break your hand and break your legs, climbing trees. Because thinking about it now, that was such an integral part of childhood,
Yeah.
Children climbing trees and breaking parts. I know that parents did not find that funny, but it's just to tell you some of the things that we enjoyed growing up that have now become such a luxury for the children of today, and it ought not to be. I think that, wherever it is we find ourselves, we should be intentional about preserving nature. If, for instance, you had to cut down trees to build your house, whenever it is you're done building, by all means, find ways to, plant something that can grow and let the children have a feel of the shade, understand what it's like to pluck fruits. A lot of children got into trouble, plucking fruits from neighbors' trees that did not belong to them, or on their way back from school, plucking fruits and getting distracted. Or when you're running errands. Those were little things that made up childhood. And now it's so scarce and so hard to find. I think that this should be our reminder that nature should be an integral part of what it is that we do as individuals. Part of our education, not just for young people, but also as we grow up. Ayo, talking about young people, I do know that quite a lot of controversy has come up in recent times over recent JAMB scores, the latest results of the Unified Tertiary Matriculation exams recently concluded by the Joint Admissions Body headquartered in Abuja, but the exams are taken all over the country. And in recent times, there's been a great scandal over the poor results that have come up as a result of the results being given. A lot of results there, being spoken of. Essentially, less than 25% of students scored above 200. And that has now become quite controversial because some students and parents are saying, students, parents, and teachers are saying these figures cannot be possible, that there was something, it could have been a glitch with the system. There's just a protest in that regard. However, JAMB has come out to say, no, there is nothing wrong with our system, that even students who ordinarily might do well maybe perform poorly as a result of overconfidence. That is a possibility. But also, the JAMB registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloide, has also come out to say that it is reflective of the trend that they have witnessed in JAMB over the last 10 years. Now, I had the privilege of going to an event of a professional body. I remember very clearly, I think it was ICANN. And I say, look, apart from JAMB, I don't know any other body that inflicts as much tears people who write their exams, you know. And I think that this is about the history of JAMB as one of the most difficult exams that students will write when they're about to enter the university. And if you are able to score above 200, I think even till today, you should be able to give yourself a pat on the back. So I don't know, Ayo, how was it for you writing JAMB back in your day? And what do you make of the complaints that have now come out as a result of this latest results we're seeing from the UTME?
To be honest, Markwe, a host of people watching us right now would have stories to tell about not just the experience of writing JAMB, but the competitiveness that went with it over the years. I mean, some right now watching us are literally biting their fingers, wondering how many times they had to write JAMB simply because it's the major route to get into universities. But then, for most of them, it was not computer-based. Now, it would seem like that's the major challenge, you know, on hand. And those students who, as you mentioned earlier, have they experienced difficulty because their computers were shutting down and there were no technical people on ground to assist. In fact, we also heard, I mean, yesterday, watching the news at 10, earlier, you know, last night, you would listen to Babajide Ogunsowa, our data analyst, describing that of the people, of the numbers, one of the defenses that JAMB put up, this is not the worst that has happened. That even it was much worse in 2021, where about 14% or less scored above, or is it, you know, this number, which is about 22% now. So the issue for me right now, Maokwe, is multifaceted. Is JAMB right to do what it's done? Well, some people are already threatening to go to court, but JAMB is the matriculation board, so consequently they have certain responsibilities. And they may have come out to put up some reactions, and students are threatening to sue and all of that. All of that is a given, but let's look at the system. Over the years, if one were to look at the numbers according to, you know, from JAMB, what have the numbers said? Is this the worst we've ever had? Clearly not, going by the numbers, according to our data analyst yesterday, looking at the numbers. But for me, one of the major challenges here, if you look at the percentage of the people who wrote JAMB, there are a lot more people who wrote JAMB from the south than in the north. But I don't know what the percentages of this quote-unquote failure is, either from the north or from the south. Maybe it will also go by the numbers, one would have to wonder. But what has also been noticed is that some of the students who wrote the exams have never seen a computer before in their localities. And how is that much different, Malcolm, from, you know, writing examinations, from certain experiences? How many medical students have medical equipment to work with? How many computer science students have ever seen a computer before? How many architects have seen some of the equipment that they're going to be working with before? It's the federal government, the state governments, all of them have a tremendous work to do here to ensure that we really, really prepare for the future. I also understand that in this examination, there were some students who were seeing those questions from certain topics for the first time. some of the, some of the courses that they had to write were not covered in their schools, and they had to write the exam. So it's quite a lot. I sincerely, I don't know where to start from. It would seem like, I'm not sure we as a country, as a nation, are futuristic, are forward-looking. I'm not sure we're really preparing the young people for the future. We keep saying children are the leaders of tomorrow. We have had a minister in this now, Nigeria, say that our graduates are unemployable, a minister of education at the time. So exactly where are we going? Is this indicative of that? Is this a pointer for JAMB? Is this a pointer for the entire education system in our country? It's a lot of questions, Markwe. It's a lot of questions, and questions that need to be asked and answered by whoever. I'm not even sure that the federal government or the states themselves can answer all these questions.
Well, whatever it is, I do hope that, the authorities take a second look at it, as Jide did point out in that his analysis, that, JAMB shouldn't be too arrogant or too humble to look at the complaints that the students and their parents have put forward. If there is a glitch somewhere, they should be able to correct it. But our education system, certainly, Ayo, you're right on the money, needs an overhaul. At this point, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at what else needs an overhaul. Perhaps our politics, or most likely our politics. Please stay with us.
Our leader, our father, who is from Lagos State, is monitoring what we are doing, because this is his state. And we know we take our grassroots people very serious. And that's why all of us are here. We know that development of Lagos starts from the local government. So that's why we must thank you very much for coming out, for representing our party at all parts of the state. As we are calm like this, let's be calm. We will go in, LASEC has seen the process. We go in, we do our voting peacefully, we will count, and everybody will go.
They say 51 is pass back, or 50 in some cases, or even sometimes 40. And if we had conducted 57, and we had grumbles from about 3, 4, 5, I think I would say even if it was 10, that would still have given us as much as 80%. In Yaba and Lagos mainland, I am conscious of the fact that in those two local governments, there are some unresolved issues within the two local governments. And like you heard, we expected them to be here, and they were absent. Of course, we would do our report to the party. And as a committee, we will also review the situation and look at the best way going forward to have them participate in the forthcoming local government elections.
Well, more than a pass mark, that's how the chairman of the just concluded primaries of the APC, that's the local government primaries, scored themselves when they concluded the outcome of their primaries. 55 candidates, we understand, have been elected for the APC primaries, and they will be going into the local government elections come June 12. It's quite significant that the elections will be conducted on that day, which has now been chosen as Nigeria's Democracy Day. Well, we're going to be talking about the fallout of this, or will I say an analysis of what transpired on Saturday at these primaries conducted by the APC. And joining us right now is Mr. Babatunde Bank Anthony, who is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Markwe. It's my pleasure to be with you.
So a pass mark, that's what we understand. As a matter of fact, it says it's even better than a pass mark. We're getting close to 80%, according to Mr. Babatunde Ogala. You heard him there. What are your thoughts on the congresses that have been conducted and the protests that have trailed some of them?
Well, thank you very much. Well, Ogala is a brother and a friend, as you know, and he's not an SAN. So we must adjust some credibility to what he has been part of. And I heard the deputy governor as well who spoke earlier and making a reference to Mr. President. I think now we should try and sit back. As I speak to you, I'm not in the country at the moment, but I follow keenly the processes before I left and on the day of the election as well. You see, 80% a pass mark to some people is not a pass mark. Like he said, some local government are yet to be resolved as you speak this morning. And the Yaba and Ebute Metta area is a key part of Lagos mainland political district. If you are looking at what the grievances are, people are saying that, I mean, their votes did not count. I've seen so many videos. But the reality is about, let me be frank with you. The processes and the procedures of primaries in our party are well known. To those people who want to come and contest, right? It's a shame, but that is the way it has been. The ESCO of the party nominates who the candidate is going to be, or in their own, they vote for who the candidate will be. So being a member, party card member, does not reflect, even at the level of voting for your councillor. Selective people are brought forward to vote for the candidate of their choice within the party. Then we now go to the general election. So in a way and manner, right, the party ESCO, in their own wisdom, decided or they feel that is what they are comfortable with. And they have been doing it and getting away from it. You are not new to this crisis. Every 3-4 years, people complain. People must complain because to some people it's not fair enough. People have been probably trying to become chairmen, councillors over the years, party faithful. But the point, at the end of the day, right, they don't get what they want. But because it's the winning party, we are stuck where we are with the APC in Lagos. That is the truth. So it's very difficult to tell you that, oh, the process is not working or it's working, because majority of people, they know the APC, at the end of the day, they have the final say. That is it. And when the ESCO are being put together, the ESCO are put together by people who have the influence within the party. So let me tell my brother, deputy governor, please stop bringing the president into all this thing all the time. We should stop be patronizing. Let us do what is right. And let him see those things and let him correct us and tell us we've gotten a pass mark. Right? I mean, so many things are going on in the country that the president is interested in. And that is the truth. We need to understand that this local government is not just a tussle by local political leaders for their own interests. Nothing to do with Mr. President. The power block between the party in the state, in the local government, are people that dictate. And to be sincere, some of them are not sincere about their dictation, but the influence that they have. Some people say, oh, I'm close to the president, I'm necessary to the president, I'm necessary to the president, I'm necessary to the governor. Did you hear me mention the governor's name? He did not. Even his own name, he did not. But we all have a role to play. I will always lend my voice of support to somebody I feel deserves to be there, or somebody I know in the party. You understand me? In Surulere now, the chief of staff is from Surulere. He has a role to play there. That is the truth. It's not. That is the way it is. You will not leave the back door open for anybody to come in, because it is politics. But I mean, if we can be more democratic, like I want to invite you to this. A few days ago in England, there was the local government election. Reform UK, a new party by Farage, won 10 councils and 677 councillors, which was a total swing. So we need our so-called electoral body to be more up and doing in conducting elections. And looking at the processes that will take us to general elections, both locally and national elections.
Well,
so
Mr.
if we
Bankantoni,
don't get that right, the party, they have little knowledge about organizing election.
So well, Mr. Bankantoni, if you can hear me, just 1 second. Yeah. If you can hear me, just a quick question. Is it impossible to have elections without violence, without rancor? I mean, just as you also said the other time, that's the position of the party, that's the way the party does its things, and if it's been working for it, then so be it. But then to hear that there are occasional rancor, violence, disagreements, and all those things, is it not preventable? Is it impossible to have a rancor-free process among a group of adults?
We have the candidates and vote. So, I mean, all these political parties today, because we are not sincere, and the leadership are not sure of themselves. That is why they put that aside. During the military era, that was it. People who believed they were so popular, they saw their scorecard. So please don't let us take it is highly possible to have a rancor-free election. And you will go humble. You will go humble, my brother. You will be humble. You will see your scorecard right there. There will be no fighting. But in politics, there will be rancor. If you create the platform for rancor, if you do an option A4, and Makinde is standing here, Maupa is here, Banki is here, I will tell the people, your ward members, come out and line behind you and put their ballots in your boxes that you carry. Understand me? So you can do it, but because we are not sure of ourselves, that is why we refuse to toe the line. The military did this without guns. Do you understand me?
What that also suggests,
so we can do it.
Yeah. What that also suggests is depreciating trust. So if some people are feeling sidelined in the process, no matter how minimal the number is, according to Mr. Ogala SAN, how do you then build trust where some people are feeling sidelined?
You see, I said something, right? I said this is the process in APC, AC, ACN. You understand me? At least when you invite the president, I remember very well when the president was going to be governor. There was an election. There was a primaries in 1998 December that made him the governor candidate of AD in Lagos State. You see, people came and voted from the ward, from the local government. They voted at the primaries in each of their local governments. They voted, and the results were all collated in Adex Hotel in Surulere. So don't let us fool ourselves. If the chairman of the party, the leadership felt they can, but to say rancor-free, to be sincere, politics has become so violent. It is so much monetized that everybody believes the short way out. Even some of the leaders now. Some of the leaders now, most of them, their children are on the field of politics. I want myself to be the chairman, to be this, to be that, to be commissioners. Excuse me. So they are using those influences is what we are seeing. That is what the people are complaining about. When you have all the leaders in local government pushing out their children, their nieces, their nephews to come to the platform, what are we talking about? Do you understand me? And I love what happened in Agege, that Obasa withdrew his own son. Maybe after being advised by people, or he felt the guy could do something better. At that age, you put your son to be a local government chairman. After that, what will he be doing? So we need to understand what is really behind the scene. That those party leaders, right, they have a case to answer for, because they instigate their children, they push them forward, they let them on the party to come out and contest for something they don't really belong to. So
Well,
let's
Mr.
give the people a chance.
Yeah.
to be part of this process. Not just it's about me. We are not playing hereditary politics. Nigeria is a republic, to be sincere.
Okay, now, I think that this, what you just said now about allowing the people to decide leads to the question that I was going to ask you next. So, if you could rewrite, because it sounds like you are, admitting that indeed party supremacy is what is playing in the state, and maybe some people are not happy about it. If you could rewrite the rules of, of the primaries in APC in Lagos, what would you change?
The point is that you cannot take the party supremacy away. And these are the procedures of the party. The ESCO of local government will vote for who the chairman will be. I can tell you that the councillors were voted for, and it was very peaceful.
But you just said now, Mr. Bankantini, just a second. You just said now that the people should be allowed to decide some stuff. What then do you mean?
Of course, I said that clearly, and I'm telling you at the end of the day that this policy of APC, that the ESCO members in each local government, and if you go back and look into INEC paper, the Electoral Act, right, the affirmation by voices changed. So they have taken, you see, where we are now, I don't think any party in Nigeria now does that kind of primaries anymore. There's no more fairness, to be sincere. To be sincere, the ESCO people will vote, but that vote by ESCO, that was a sincere vote. That I can tell you. Anybody telling you, I've seen some videos that I voted for Makinde, I voted for Makinde. Did you show you? Did you show the that you voted for Makinde? You come out to make noise, to make claims that are not true. Because I mean, the procedure was very clear to all of them. To be sincere, I understand. I understand the pain of you losing the primaries. You understand me? So I've lost one before, and I've won one before. So I understand it, but don't let's create any kind of situation out of it, because you know the result. You know how popular you are within the party. You know who loves you. You know those who will tell you they will vote for you, they will not vote for you. In those days, only the money more. That is politics for you. That is the benefit of secret ballots. People can tell you they are going to vote for you, but you come out there, nobody will vote for you. We have seen it in primaries. Look at the last APC primaries. Look at people like Pastor Tunde Bakari. Not even a single vote. So we have seen these things. People claim so many things. People come out and say, oh, it was rigged, it was this, it was that. But excuse me, you know the procedure, you know the process. And you know in this party is supreme.
Well, I think it's very instructive the way the Guardian, the Vanguard newspaper couched this particular, their own headline. It says, LG polls, protests trail Lagos APC primaries over Baba Sokpe's influence. So would you agree with that particular headline, Baba Sokpe's influence?
Well, to an extent, I will agree, because as a command structure, the Baba Sokpe's, the Baba Sokpe in every local government, to be sincere, right? And you must do their bidding, right, to get to that position where you will think, oh, you are able to contest, and putting that 5 million to contest for this local government election is not a small thing to do. But at the end of the day, you know what? If people assume they are going to win the primaries, they will not win, and they come and say it's Baba Sokpe. Politics is about Baba Sokpe everywhere you go to. The kingmakers are there, to be sincere. The kingmakers are there. Those that will determine who will vote for you, who will not vote for you are there.
Just quickly, as we wind down now, I think it's very important for me to correct this. I had initially said that the local government elections will be conducted on the 12th of June, but they're actually going to be conducted on the 12th of July, not June.
Okay.
Just to also point out, I just want to quickly say or ask you if you think that the fact that a lot of people do not trust the local government elections and know that oftentimes it is the party at the helm of affairs in the state, in this case the APC, that usually carries the day. Do you think that that's what has now increased the competition, the rivalry within the APC for slots such as, you know, the seats, the primaries that we're currently looking at?
But you can't be more correct, and that happens as well in Kaduna, in Sabari, in everywhere in the state INEC body, right? And with due respect to them, they do the bidding of the states. So it's not something that is new. I've not seen a state that has lost a local government election. Maybe Kaduna lost one or two during Erufai as governor, but it's always a 100% result for the state government with the state party in place. So the guarantee of getting the APC ticket in Lagos and becoming the next chairman of the local government is almost a done deal. That's part of the reason there will always be rancor and crisis and people coming out and say, oh, I'll be manipulated out of the primaries. But right now, it has been conducted. We have our candidates. Here we go to the next election. That is it. You
oh, well, we'll see how it eventually pans out. Maybe there will be, maybe there'll be a difference come July the 12th, and maybe also there'll be resolutions within the party resolving some of the protests that we've seen by those who are discontented. But we have to thank you very much for your analysis this morning, Mr. Tunde Bakantani.
Thank you very much, Marco. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark. Always a pleasure.
Well, Mr. Babatunde Bakantani is the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, and he joined us virtually. Well, we're taking a break now. When we come back, politics is still very much on the front burner. Yesterday, yes, the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, held its National Executive Committee meeting, its NEC meeting, and the resolutions were released very early this morning. We'll be talking about some of them when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.
With all the governors elected under the party that are still in the party, and a substantial number of former PDP governors, with our leader, the chairman of the party, and some members of the National Working Committee, we discussed some of the issues relating to our party, some existential issues, of course, that have been around in the media, within us, so that we'll be able to navigate smoothly to NEC that is scheduled to take place on the 27th of this month, and by August we will have an early convention. So many issues and frank talks have been made, and it is an opportunity to close rank and to make sure that at least there is no ill feelings, there are no qualms, there are no misgivings between the leaders of the party. Governors of the party have reached out to our colleagues who have been there before, who have more experience, and who know so much in a way and manner that whatever suggestions or opinion they may have would go a long way in giving an added impetus. And in doing so, there are some missing gaps here and there. We set up a committee of 7 headed by His Excellency, the former Senate President, and of course, former Governor of Kwara State, to meet so that at least quick reconciliation and reach out will be made in such a manner that we will have a very rancor-free and harmonious NEC and convention.
Well, you have the resolutions there read by the chairman of the forum and also the governor of Bauchi State, Governor Bala Mohammed. So this is a pre-NEC meeting, not a NEC meeting, as I had earlier said. This meeting is to enable them smoothen the grounds for a successful NEC and also their forthcoming convention. And it was attended by not just the current governors. It's supposed to be the governors forum meeting, but it wasn't just attended by current governors, but also attended by former governors as well, including the minister of the FCT, who was the former governor of Rivers State. Well, quite a lot of developments to continue to look at in the next meeting. Because the last time, beg your pardon, in the Governors Forum, because the last time the governors held a forum, I think it was in Oyo State, shortly afterwards, one of them defected. And we're wondering, okay, but they just had this meeting. Did they see that coming? And it wasn't just any state. It was a state that had been PDP since the start of the Fourth Republic, Delta State. And just yesterday as well, we also had Governor Moeno. Interestingly, he wasn't at that NEC meeting. No one saw him because his name wasn't there. But he did say, while speaking in church at some Thanksgiving ceremony in Lagos, that, well, today he's in PDP. He doesn't know where he will be next. He might be in APC. He might be in YPP. There was a lot of ambivalence around, what he was saying. But he has been rumored to be supporting the president. It's unclear whether he'll also be defecting. But these are some of the developments that people are watching within the PDP. So this morning, we're being joined by Mr. Tajuddin Yusuf, a three-time member of the House of Representatives and a member of the People's Democratic Party, to look at developments within the PDP. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Maokwe. Pleasure.
Well, this is where we are again. They say they're trying to smoothen everything, tap from experience, and make sure that they have a very good NEC meeting come the 27th of May. What should the PDP be nervous about with this upcoming NEC?
I think a lot. However, the meeting of yesterday, to me, for a long time, looked like one of the best steps ever taken to resolve this matter. If they are going to have a NEC meeting without resolving the matters they want Saraki to do now, it will have been disastrous. First of all, there was the Supreme Court ruling on secretaryship. The governors met in Ibadan and said they will recognize the deputy secretary. However, the court really recognized Ayahu. Apart from that, Ayahu has a high court ruling that cannot be removed. So if you had gone ahead to have a NEC meeting without resolving this matter, by implication, whatever you do there, somebody will just wake up one day, go to court and quash it. So
It's a very complicated situation, that ruling, because the Supreme Court has also been known to say that all this internal party, all these disputes around positions are internal party affairs.
Thank you.
But I do know that the controversy was whether it was the NWC or the NEC that said that, rather than the Governors Forum, because they felt that decision should have come from either the NEC or the NWC, not the Governors Forum.
NWC has no such power. He was elected at the convention. There's a process of removal. So why going into that kind of crisis where you have convention coming, that you can remove secretary legally, you can rezone? So that's the party they are taking now. We must understand, a friend of mine were talking this morning, he said one of the things, the current governors must understand something, that a court ruling is not a buffet, you cherry pick. It's a la carte. You take what is served. You might not like it, might not like the process. If I'm in their shoe, I will just allow they will prepare. Do this kind of meeting we are doing now. Do our next meeting. Prepare for convention, early convention, August. It's out. So why putting puppet traps? The Sanfara experience on how APC lost the whole government of this thing. It's still fresh. We applauded it then. We love what happened. And we are walking to that kind of trap. So I see what happened yesterday. I don't know the detail, but when I saw the committee, Saraki, I think there is a balance of all interest in that committee. So I assume for the first time, there is a genuine intention to reconcile. And if they can get that done, we'll fly.
Do you think that they didn't quite say it, but I don't even know if journalists had the time to ask such a question as to whether they were walking back on that earlier decision of theirs to say that they were recognizing the deputy secretary?
If they don't, it's a recipe for disaster.
Is it automatically taken for granted that with the resolution that they have now reached with this reconciliation committee, that is also a part of what
I assume that they will be give and take. First of all, you have a divided National Committee. Have you heard the legal advisor talking on this matter? Most time you hear the public secretary talking, interpreting legal issues. By implication, there's a lot of divisions. So Saraki's first responsibility to bring them together. You guys, your tenants will be ending very soon. It's even good for you to work together and exit with some honor. So I don't have details of what happened, but the pictures and the things the committee I saw, the setup, to me should have what they have done, I believe, from day one to get this thing sorted out. We are in opposition, and we are consciously laying booby trap for ourselves. Look at the FCT local government election that's coming up. A lot of the chairmen who are in PDP are across to APC. Because who signed? Okay, let's assume you have such power to say Deputy Secretary should act. And you now sign the candidature of these people. And somebody just wake up and go to court and quash it. Why taking such risk? Why taking such risk? So I do not know why we invest so much energy on ego. What we used to, no matter if you don't like Wiki, you have your own shortcoming and what have you. You can't dispute the fact that between 2015 and 2019, he gave PDP a voice. And he wasn't the one that was always run for presidency then. It was those who left us and came back that took that privilege. So who among the governors is doing such thing right now?
Big question.
Who is taking the responsibility? Look at the Atacha issue. Who is talking from the PDP top echelon? Who is saying anything? If you are not even supporting, are we making effort to say, oh no, this lady, take it or leave it today. She's one of the most popular brand of PDP. So what have we done in that light? So the governors must understand that they're a product of constitutionality. The truth of the matter is that if you do not have a constitution and being obeyed, 10 people will come out that they are governors in the state, 50. But because there is a pronouncement of court and people obey it, so just drop your ego. Let's work. BOT, unfortunately, our BOT, I'm so disappointed. Let's work. BOT, unfortunately, our BOT, I'm so disappointed because it ought to be the conscience of the party. We should not get this. Is what the governors are doing now. It should have been done by BOT, but they went into the crisis with partisan motive. They had an opinion of what should happen, what should not happen. A lot of them look at somebody in the party as the hope of their generation. So if it's not the candidate of the party, they will not be relevant again.
I'm looking at the papers this morning. I was hearing that the PDP is set to install a new BOT today. I don't know if did you get that memo as a member of the PDP?
No. I'm not a member of BOT.
Okay, well, it's right there on the front page.
I'm not a member of BOT.
The Punch. No, but I mean, that should not be something that is done in secret now. It should be something that members are aware of. And it
should not be something you should be doing now.
Okay. I know Ayo has questions. Ayo.
Thank you, Mokwe. Honorable, the one question that on my mind right now is, I mean, you just talked about this whole idea of another reconciliation headed by a former president of the Senate, Saraki. The question on my mind right now is, with this mediation efforts that is being tinkered with, some may already see it as being already biased, serving particular interests. So with the fact that prior reconciliation attempts failed, what if members doubt the sincerity of this new initiative?
There's nothing cast in stone. You cannot have 100% opinion about any matter. Human beings naturally have diverse opinion on any issue. However, I assume that the list I saw is a composition of different segments and cleavages agitating for, control of the party. So, and Saraki to me is a very seasoned politician who understands the power of negotiation. I think that committee will, if they genuinely want to do, they can do a good work. So I can't sit here and say because other reconciliation, what about the one they succeeded in? They've gone around and did some reconciliation before. It is this particular item that lingered this long. And this is the first time the governors are coming out with a committee to see how they breach those gaps. So I want to give them benefit of doubt.
Well, but The last time we spoke about this, Honorable, remember you dated the issues back more than 10 years. And consequently, one can imagine that there have been quite a number of other issues that have come up over the last 10 years, and not just one. You said then that it was accumulation of the issues over the years. Do you see this committee being able to tackle those issues, those historical internal discrepancies, or rather disagreements within the party?
Issues, historical discrepancies.
The committee might not go into those details, but the committee will attempt to reconcile the actors now so as to have a smooth convention. What would determine if we will heal those wounds will be when we begin to zone positions. I listened to somebody in another platform a few days ago who was misrepresenting facts and was talking about the PDP will have zoned to Southeast. It is some people that, so I said no. I mean, I don't want to mention him. He's not that grounded in PDP dynamics. I was in the committee meetings. I was at NEC meeting when the decisions were taken. The major mistake we made, we didn't zone party presidential ticket to the South. For the first time, we didn't zone. We don't zone to geopolitical zone. We zone chairman, secretary to either North or South. Different geopolitical zone within those enclave will now jostle for it. If you zone anything to North, Northwest, Northeast, North Central, we jostle for it. You emerged as chairman of PDP, not because it was zoned to North Central, it was zoned to the North. But the North Central were able to come together and make sure other aspirants from the zone step up for IU. Going to the larger Northern Caucus, then everybody realized that North Central coming as a block would defeat them. McCarthy was running, Shema was running in Northeast, a lot of them. So IU became more formidable because about 7 states in North Central are coming for him. So for anybody to say that he will have zoned to Southeast, that's why we did not zone, we left it open. That's an error. So if we're able to have a successful NEC meeting, a successful convention, and those who are in saddle of this response will now realize that, hey, let's take a step back. Because in 2019, 2014, people complained that Jonathan should not run because he should go to the North. 2019, we received our decision and zone to the North. So nobody from the South contested. We should do the same thing now, zone to the South.
Sorry to interrupt you. You've already expressed optimism that this reconciliation committee could work. How confident are you that it could stop members from defecting? Oh, first of all, we don't have a lot of time.
Let me see. The confidence is that it might not stop, but it will reduce it. And don't be surprised about people moving to the ruling party. Around 2007, 2009, 11, PDP are almost 30 states in the country. So it's the nature of our politicians in Nigeria to always gravitate towards who is in power. If tomorrow PDP is in power, some people will gravitate back to PDP. But some of us will stay. So some people stayed with ACN and what have you. Today, the APC is in power. So I don't begrudge them. Put more ingredients in the soup and make it sweeter.
All right, Mr. Tajuddin Yusuf, we'll see how that eventually works for the PDP ahead of its NEC meeting on the 27th of this month. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily. He's a 3-time member of the House of Representatives and a member of the People's Democratic Party. Well, that's where we wrap up the program this beautiful Monday morning. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. I'm Maokpe Ogun Yusuf.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a productive week.